for will happen. We've seen so many times in situations where a mate decides to go further in the relationship than just being courting and offer engagement, and then people seem to drop their guards. You do not do that. Okay? A progression of love and concern is an engagement, and sometimes people be engaged for years. I don't understand that, but they be engaged for years before they decide to make a serious move. So again, standards, boundaries that you have set in the relationship, you hold them, because you will need them later to produce good for the relationship. Okay?
Right. Okay. We have been going for a while, right? Now we engage. We are planning to get married.
Right.
So why we can't dip instead of waiting? Because we have already engaged. So if we dip, I still gonna marry you. So what's the big deal with doing it now or waiting?
You ain't married yet.
Okay.
Simple. You're not married yet. Okay.
All right. All right.
So your faithfulness also depends on what you're going to do when you get married too. So a lot of stuff hanging on this engagement and the progression, you know. It's not just we could get engaged, that we are engaged. It's not just that. It's the principles that you're setting for your relationship as you go on. Remember that. It's not just happenstance. Nothing happens by happenstance. It also always happens by the changes you make. Okay, that's including choices that you make also.
And like you said, it goes on for a lifetime within that relationship, because
right.
if the boundaries were set and now we are breaking it, throughout the marriage we'll have the same problem.
Exactly.
We will decide, okay, we're going to do this, but no, let's change.
That's right.
And so we have to remember that at the end of the day, we want purpose. Why are we getting married in the first place? What we plan to do when we get married. And sometimes singles don't have any plan. We just gotta get married.
That's right.
And one of the things that we were discussing yesterday is that even as a single person, I know we have a number of single persons in here, with the relationship, you have to use wisdom. Number one, we are hoping that you both are Christians,
Right.
but as we know, even within Christians' relationships, we see the boundaries are broken,
Exactly.
if there were any set in the first place.
Right.
And so you have to be careful where you are, where you go. Be careful. There's so many things, like a discussion was held years ago, and the child said, or the young person said, he took me to his house. We went in the bedroom. You hear what it's called? Bedroom. He turned the music. That's right. He turned the music on. He had a little wine, and then bloops, things happened. And I don't know how it happened, she said. I don't know. So what advice would you give a single person going that far?
Well, number one, you're not, excuse the language, but yeah, no, I'm going to say, you're not dumb and you're not stupid. Throughout life, you've learned some things, even if you never had anybody to teach you as you were growing up. Even if there was nobody around that you could have gone to and say, well, what do I do here? What do I do here? See, there is something called the natural, our parents would say, the natural knack. Okay? In other words, you just seem to be able to make decisions on things that were confronting you and make good decisions. Okay? So the thing it is here is that you must always be aware that
Should you go that far?
Okay, should you go that far? You shouldn't go that far. Because the Word of God says, avoid the very presence of evil. And you know what it is. Okay? Evil is not something that you can play with. It is something that comes to destroy you, to take you out, to take all you have, to cause you to lose. That's the objective of evil. And so many times people get into relationships and they get tight and they find these secluded places and positions and conditions and stuff where they can cause themselves to do what they shouldn't be doing. And then when they go so far, they're not, it's not like something just takes you over. Nothing never takes you over. Nothing never controls you that you don't allow it. Passion is something you control.
Take you over, and you're at that point, and you can't resist, you can't run.
Yeah, but you have to have self-control. In all of that, you're still thinking. In all of that situation, you know I shouldn't do this. You know that. Even especially if you're a Christian believer, you know you shouldn't go that far. And then sometimes you think, I give an example here. My wife a number of times I heard ladies say that she loves to eat conch, and if she eats conch too much, what happens is it affects her throat, and it can cause her throat to swell up, and as a result she'll have a problem breathing. She'll have to go to the hospital. But you know what she said? She loves conch so much that she eats some, and when she feels a little tingle, then she stops. Now it's good for her to know that when she feels a sign of it, that she stops. But one of these times, she ain't gonna feel that sign, or it may be too far gone. That's a risk you take. See? So here it is. We ought not to play risky. God has given us the wisdom to be intelligent at what we do. And we must understand that's our responsibility. Nothing, if we get in a situation, a relationship you feel like you can deal with, maybe you've tried it before over and over, and it worked out so far, good for you like that, things like that. The thing it is here is that God admonishes us not to get into a relationship, into doing things like that, in whatever it is, because we don't know what's going to happen the next time. See, we may end up going in the area that we shouldn't be going into, all right? And then that's also a different color. But then the thing it is that you want to remain faithful to the Lord. That's the major factor in our relationship. We want to be faithful to God.
Yeah,